This is Roy with Talk Soul Central RTV style. And tonight we have the art show. And I got one of the best artists in Brownsville. There's plenty, but he's one of the best among other greats. Man, this guy is awesome. He's just finished painting a mural. And hopefully we'll get some talk about the third mural. But anyway, here is Gabriel. How's it going, Gabriel? How you doing
How's it going?
today?
Doing
What's
good, man.
with
Doing
you?
good.
You doing
Doing
all
good.
right? Ooh.
Doing good. I'm here. Just got home from work. Took off my shoes and ate a little bit of dinner, early dinner, and got ready for the show, I guess.
Oh man, same too, man. I was rushing from chess lessons up at the library, and then some people stopped me because they're getting ready for summer and chess lessons. And yeah, definitely, let's do it. Got home, got some Chinese, and
Some Chinese.
Oh yeah, had some Panda Express waiting for me, and so man, it was pretty cool. So
Nice.
Gabriel, what are you up to, man? I mean, you've been busy, dude. You've been busy.
Well, I guess just did a mural, and I'm really happy about it because it is something that I've been wanting to do for a long while now. Not necessarily this one in particular per se, but I wanted to have a public mural that we could that I could put out for the community.
Yes.
And so I was real grateful and honored to have been invited to paint this. And I'm gonna say this: it's not a permanent mural, obviously.
Right.
It's not a permanent mural because the business right now, which is Curio 409,
Right.
is going under construction and renovations and stuff like that. So they had this cover on the side of the building, and so they wanted to have. Of course, they're hosting art events, and so they wanted to have some. They wanted to have some art on that wall, and so it was just by very much the alignment of the stars, if you will, because I was looking for a wall and they were looking for an artist to put up to do some artwork on those panels. And they're not I'm gonna say this, they're not they're rough panels, they're plywoods, the compressed wood and stuff like that. But it is primed, and I thought they looked great. I mean, they're just they were just waiting for a drawing to be, they were waiting. It was waiting for some artwork to be put on it. And when I passed by on my motorcycle, I was like, man, I want to do something on that wall, and it's a perfect wall. And I saw that vision, and so I went up to the people from there. Her name is Alexandra and Felicia, and of course I was very much welcomed by them, and they were like, yes, we were actually looking for you, and we want you to put up this mural there. And so it worked out really well. I am real happy with it.
And this is a picture of you in between. Obviously this is not the finished work. This is
actually, what?
You're getting ready to move it around, right?
Actually, and I will say this: the whole mural took 6 hours. I'm sorry, 5 hours.
Whoa, Speedy Gonzalez.
Speedy Gonzalez. That was 1 hour after I started.
Wow, this is 1 hour after you started.
Yeah. This you got to understand that I'm of course, and some people ask me, hey man, are you gonna add color and all this stuff? And it's like, no. It was
black and white type of.
It was gonna be just a black and white because it was an homage to the series that I did, The Great Tortilla Maker. And it just so happens that when I created the Great Tortilla Maker series, that year, previously, I was so tired of using color. I mean, I was saturating every painting with color, and then all of a sudden, man, I wanted to do an entire year of just black and white. And I did so when I did the tortilla maker, all the paintings were in black and white, and so I wanted this to be black and white.
Yeah,
And
and this one, man, I don't know. I mean, yeah, it is black and white, but I think the eye tricks is I think the eye wants to see color in there. Like you actually see the colors, but they're not there. I don't know how to explain that. I don't know from an artist's point of view, and then the study that you've done, if psychologically sometimes a viewer will see color even though there's no color there because it
yeah,
wants to.
there is a version of this painting in color that I have. It's a 6 feet by 8 foot canvas painting, and it does have color.
Wow.
So maybe that's why you've seen that color version, that you
Okay.
want to see this one like that.
Yeah.
But I am real happy without it. I actually enjoy it
I
better
like
this
it.
way because the lines, I mean, I just follow the lines and it's like a racetrack. I mean, my eyes go all over the place, and the narrative, the story of the tortilla makers are there, and you can see their movement, and you
Uh-huh.
see the birds flying, and you could see the clouds behind it, and then you can see the interaction between them.
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
see how they all flow together, and they almost reach out to one another,
Even the little dog.
even the little dog.
Waiting at the table for scraps.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's really representing a community of tortilla
Yes,
makers, and
yes.
which I think metaphorically represents us
Definitely,
in
definitely,
a way.
definitely.
And painting it this way really makes it stand out on its own,
Yes.
because there is I mean, I look at a lot of murals, and yes, we are a very colorful culture. We are visually, we have a lot of color I mean, aesthetically, we have a lot of color in our culture, and I kind of wanted this to be some sort of rebirth of that, like, since this is the first one, actually, I'm gonna say one of the first murals, or public art that is done by a local artist of its size.
Yeah.
And and I'm gonna say this, with total creative freedom, because I wasn't told, hey, you know what, you have to do this or you have to do that. No,
Yeah.
this is do what you want kind of deal, which was a real blessing, because
Right.
I mean, for an
Your
artist to
hands
have,
were not tied.
my hands were not tied. and
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 yeah,
if I say what, and if you say, man, why did you do it in 5 hours?
because
Well,
you're in the zone.
because
You had it
exactly
up here
that,
already.
I have all freedom. I could do whatever I want. And so once you do that, I mean, let's say, I mean, as when you're a kid, when you're asked to do whatever you want, what did you do? You ran like crazy, man. So I guess that's what that brought about.
Yeah. Let's say hi to some people. Ellen, how's it going? Ellen in Tennessee. How
How
you
you
doing,
doing?
Ellen? Hey, Rene, how's it going? Y dice Rene, that looks amazing. Where is that at? Well, that's in
So this
Brownsville.
is,
Go ahead
yes,
and answer
13
it.
and Levy. 13 and Levy. This
In
is,
Brownsville, Texas.
if yes, if anybody is familiar with this is right across the street from the border wall.
Yeah.
This mural is actually somewhat facing the border wall,
Okay.
for the the river, and it's right next to the bridge. 13th Street is the last street you get to before you hit the bridge,
Mm-hmm.
and 14th Street being international.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and behind it, I don't know if anybody's familiar, or you're Royal, if you're familiar. Behind it, there was an art gallery there, previously called
Yes.
the 409 Gallery.
Yeah. Yeah. The green door, I believe. You know.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So
No, man.
so
So
they're gonna continue with, as of right now, from what they've shared with me, is that it is a space for creativity. It is a space for art happenings, and as well as other public events, that, like, anybody wanting to host a meeting, or needing a creative space, they can actually talk to them about the about, I guess, renting it or whatever it is that they're applying to those
Mhm.
standards.
Well,
Mhm.
and now this was got. I mean, the hero was there. I mean, man,
Right? Yes. Yeah.
your work was on in the newspaper, and probably in some other places as well. But I mean,
I'm gonna say
granted,
this,
it's
man.
fakes too, but
Right.
it's there.
Right, right, right. No, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. I'm real grateful with that. With that heading right there, larger than life. I mean, what a blessing. To get that sort of attention is still a blessing. I don't say something like that is something that I just take lightly. No way. I mean, that is truly
Yeah.
something that aspires. I mean, because other kids that are out there in the community could be looking at this and saying, "Man, I want to be an artist.
Yeah.
I want to get my work out there. I want
Yeah.
to do what he's doing," and which is
Yes.
changing the world for a
Opening
better place.
doors.
Yeah,
Opening doors, yeah.
the
You're
opening doors
pioneering
and
this. Now,
changing the world
I know we were talking about the border wall. If you see right behind this
right there.
taxi, this is across the street. This is the border wall right there, guys. Those of you that are old timers, this building used to be, I think, the King Mart back there. Used to be a grocery
Ueta or
store.
something like that.
Huh?
Oh, Kingart
Yeah,
Ueta as well,
way
no?
back there. I'm talking
Oh
about
yeah, well,
but it used to be a street and all of that Hey, let me bring out Araceli. Araceli is an
you
artist and well as one of the Tejano divas. There she is. Araceli, how's it going?
hello,
Hi, hi.
Araceli.
I can't hear you at all.
Oh,
Let me
we'll
get
get that.
my
You get that going, and we'll
let
start
me look
talking.
for my earbuds.
Good evening, Annabelle. How's it going? Well, you okay. You are lovely. You're when you
Loving your
were
creativity.
yeah, or loving your creative activity. Yeah, I guess common then you just want to keep on working on it. Yeah, you
You
just want
got
to
you.
keep on working.
You know you.
Again, the
You know
idea.
what? You know what this street is. Levy would have been the what Elizabeth is now, because
Yes,
Levy would runs towards where the El Jardín Hotel was,
yes,
and
yes,
that would be the primary road of
yes,
all
and
the
El
nice
Capital and
businesses
all of
and
that.
all that.
Yeah, the Capitol Hotel, and definitely a lot of good stuff in that sense. Pero wow, no, it's cool, man. So but and a lot of us thought, oh well, maybe that's the third mural, and right when I saw it, when I
Okay.
said, I know this mural is gonna be moved around because obviously it's hiding what they're doing behind, and then they're gonna probably put it somewhere else. And so I go, this is not the third mural.
Right. I had
I
I
don't
have
know
had
why I cannot hear you.
We can hear
Maybe
you.
I should try it again.
All right, go ahead, leave, and then come back in. All right, cool. So yeah, so man,
I hadn't
como
had
te
any
diré?
contact with the city. I mean, I've heard rumors here and there that they would be announcing it. The last I've heard is that they passed on the I guess the ball to the Brownsville Museum of Fine Arts to have them oversee the who did the third mural. But again, that could be just a rumor. I mean, I have no idea or have confirmed that with the BMFA people. Because there's no public announcements. Once there's no public announcements, it's not official yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I can't really speak on their behalf or anything like that.
Hmm.
But yes, I mean this is a private mural, privately commissioned
Right.
mural, and again, either way, it's public, so
Yeah.
we should be, I'm celebrating it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And a lot of people did reach out to me and say, you know what, this is really good. I love it, and I passed by already, and they think it's really great. So I'm happy to hear those comments. And then there's the tiny little few that are out there, criticizing it. But what are you gonna do? That's also welcome. Critiques are also welcome. I mean, It is
We'll
what it is,
see, you know.
but we have to understand it's not the third mural.
No.
It is made to beautify it was meant to beautify, in a sense, just the plywoods that were out there. Just, it created it for me. It created the white space. It created the space for me to put some art on it. But yeah, it's also acting as a barrier for the building as well.
Right,
I
right.
mean, it is what it is. I would be happy if you know what, when the third mural comes up, I will apply for it. Yes, I will apply for it.
Definitely, definitely.
I am not gonna.
If anything, I mean, you should be like right on top, you know, because you've been very vocal about it. Let me just say hi to some people up there in the skybox. Annabelle
Yeah.
Salazar, you're up there. How you doing? Artist Tony. Got it going, Mr. Tony. Hey, if you want to come by just for a little shout out, come on in. I sent you a message. Check your messenger. I can send you a link and you can come by and say hi to us and all of that. And some other people up there. Anyway, but yeah, and you know what? The other day I was driving by downtown because okay, there's walls, there's no walls, there's walls, there's no walls. So I go, you know what? I'm gonna drive all over. I like the wall in front of the Coca-Cola building that's in a catty corner to it.
There we go.
Big old space where you guys can definitely have fun there, man. A couple of you can team up and create some awesome artwork there. There's another wall. ¿Dónde vi la otra wall? I think even
Can you hear us now?
on the side of the Majestic, that otra, no?
I was gonna say, can she hear us now or no?
I think
Yeah, I can hear you guys. Yes, I'm so sorry.
Hello, how you
I had
doing?
to restart my phone.
Yeah.
No, when I got it, when I tried to go in, it asked for a password.
Oh, no.
And I had to restart all kinds of stuff. So I'm sorry about that, you guys.
Saludos, how's it going, Tony? Man, this guy's an artist as well. I've seen his work. I mean, híjole, man, there's so many talented artists here in Brownsville. Y para que no tengan, I mean, it should be like we should have like 20 murals out there. You know,
Well, I mean,
not only that, I mean, it's
How does that work? I mean, how do you do it? You've done a few, right?
Personally, I've done. This is my second large scale mural. Yes, I mean
Awesome.
it works. It not only works at the city level, but private entities can and they do this a lot, and this happens a lot. Private businesses can hire artists to do murals on their walls, and I think within the last 3 years since the topic of murals have come about, a lot of businesses have supported a lot of local artists.
Yes.
I've seen a lot of businesses that have murals all over the place in here, not only here in Brownsville, but all over the valley.
Yeah.
And sometimes they have them indoors, like in
Right.
restaurants, they'll have a mural or something. There's some that are smaller scale or some that are fairly large. It just depends on.
I just went to South Padre Island this weekend, and right where Clayton's
Hey,
is
look
at.
who's here.
Oh, there you go. Right where Clayton's is at, there's a huge mural on the side of where Clayton's is at, and it's on the side of the hotel, and it looks really nice. They made it look really well. A couple of turtles and all this. It is right next to where the I guess the pier, the boardwalk is at.
Right.
I don't know if you guys seen it, but it's really
Yeah.
cool. It really puts it really beautifies the city, and it's just not about just white buildings and being very bland. It gives that homeness to it. I mean, it gives that
Exactly.
culture to it, and I think
And that's where I like that because I like to see tourists or people that come over to our area and then take pictures,
Right.
and they should be there forever a lot of times. And what the sad part is that the work that's put into it, and years later, somebody decides to buy it and paints right over it. Oh, that's so heartbreaking.
So if you want to introduce that's Ramiro Gonzalez.
Ramiro is here.
Hi, Ramiro. Nice
How's
to
it
meet
going,
you.
Ramiro Gonzalez. I was looking at your picture earlier today, and you are married to chess master Luciana.
I am, sir. Yes, I am.
Uh oh.
And I go,
Hey,
okay,
Uh
the
and
connection is Brownsville Royal Knights, chest over here, but
is
she's
that
the master.
is that a Cande Aguilar behind you? The painting on behind you, Ramiro.
That is a cande.
There we
Orale,
go.
oh.
look at that.
That is done by a local artist, Royal Cande
Really?
Aguilar.
And I have
Very
I have a,
successful.
I have another cande right there.
Oh, there we go.
Míralo, míralo.
Yeah.
So.
Las Sandías.
La sandía. No, no,
Nice,
está bien.
nice.
So,
Yeah, he's a real good artist. I'm real proud actually of somebody like Cande because I mean he is from Brownsville, también es del barrio, and he's been pushing art in not at the level that I'm pushing because I'm pushing at a different level. He's on the art gallery level. I mean,
órale.
he
Wow.
won't exhibit outside an art gallery.
Uh-huh.
He goes through those venues and actually, you know what? His work has been acquired for the Chich Marin Museum that's going to be open later this year in
Órale.
California with the one of the biggest collections in Chicano art ever in the United
Wow.
States.
Look at you.
So how awesome is that going to be with
That is
from
awesome.
Brownsville to be out there
Congratulations.
and be representing Brownsville that way with the
Yeah.
artwork. Yeah.
Awesome. That's awesome. Congratulations. How do
Yeah.
you feel about that?
Me personally, like I said, I'm real proud for him because it opens the door for. I mean, San Antonio with the proximity that because San Antonio has a lot of Chicano artists, and
Yes.
because of the Chicano history, which is where Chicano art is born, because of the obreros of the pescadores and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
All the labor unions and all that stuff. I mean, created that Chicano art movement to represent that. So it was very closely linked to the valley and a lot of people here. So having that connection to Chicano art and I like to think that we here in the valley we not only do Chicano art but there's a little bit of extra I want to say there's a fusion of border art because a lot of the narrative, a lot of the art that comes out of Brownsville in specific has to do with the border life, and
Yeah.
San Antonio it has a close proximity, but it speaks a different narrative
Yeah.
than what Valley or what Brownsville artists do,
Or California
which is
Chicano
yeah,
artists.
or yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what? Yeah, you're right. It depends where you're raised and what you're seeing.
yeah,
I
Right.
mean,
and
I
I
think
heard
I think a lot of it has to do with that. It's the same as the music,
Right.
right?
right.
Depending where you're at, the flavor is going to be a little bit
A
different. The
little
colors
bit.
are going to be different.
I saw a comment, hey, why don't you paint things like this? And they show pictures of Californian art.
Sí, 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 sí.
And in my head, I'm thinking, well,
Totally.
because we're not California, we're not going to paint that. No.
Different
Yeah,
year.
we want to paint what the storyline here, what the culture is here.
Yeah.
And it's
Mhm.
going to look
the thing
and
is,
it's going to look different from
Yeah.
it's got that Tex-Mex value.
right, and that's what I was going to say. The thing is that you understand the art. You know, the normal viewer out there doesn't understand the art. They see something, oh, that's pretty, que esto, que el otro. But you understand because you put the art, you put the history, you put the culture together, and you mix it all up,
Right.
and you create that. Now, Ramiro, tell us a little bit about this whole deal with the mural. I mean, I know because I want you to come in and talk about the mural and this whole situation, and I guess you were kind of in the middle there. So, hey, no one's gonna attack you, but I will ask you this question, bro. I will ask you this question: where's the third mural? When and who?
Well, that's a great question. That's a great question, Ray. I have no control over it anymore, right?
Right.
I'm no longer at the city, and so the infamous third mural is left to to those who are still there, right, and who are still trying to push for it. And so, I mean, I can tell you where I left it off. The money's there. It's just about the ganas to get it done, right, or to put it out there, to put the call, to put it out there. And like I was telling Gabriel in our conversation on Saturday, all that takes work, right, and
of course,
work and partnerships and putting things out there. And so, like I said, I don't really have an update specifically to the third mural. I hope to see it done. I'm in for advocating for it just as much as Gabriel is, right?
Awesome.
And and I'm not going to say forget about the third mural, but there should be a fourth and a fifth and a sixth and
Right,
exactly.
there you go. Yeah.
Exactly.
more, right? The idea was always to get the ball rolling, right?
Okay,
And once
I
the
can
ball
see
rolls,
the ball gets rolling, but the thing is this, like I don't know, I'm not an artist. I mean, I like art, and I say, okay, that's pretty. Okay, maybe I don't understand that. Okay, I may not like everybody's style, but it's still great art. But the thing is, with that said, how come there was never a group of artists that would have given the that would have given advice and maybe perhaps save some money along the way? Why not that route?
Well,
that's what Brownsville really wants to know. I mean,
let me take a step.
The idea was $30,000 for a mural, and then people don't like it.
Yeah, let me take a step back. Let me take a step back and give you a little history.
Right in there.
on art and things that we've support, or not we, because I can't say we. By the way, this is like I said, I'm no longer with the city, right? But in the 12 years I was 12 and a half years I was at the city.
Right.
We were always supportive of art, right? I was personally supportive of art and advocated on behalf of local artists and starting and fostering the local art scene. I don't know if you all remember Linear Park when it was full of sculptures.
Yes.
There was about 2 years there when Marcela Ronquillo was at the museum, and it was full of sculptures. It looked beautiful. The park looked amazing, and Gabriel remembered.
He's talking about Marin.
Javier Marin sculpture with the angel wings and all that. Well, that was city money that supported it. There was other, I kind of helped Marcela to get that, and that was city money that we took money out of the city to support that. There was I worked very closely with Angel Cabrales. I don't know if you all remember Angel Cabrales.
I know he is the guy that did the tire.
What about this mural at the old boys club?
Yeah, hold on. Well, where we're going. That's where. So let me tell you a little history, right?
Angel Cabrales did the tires.
Hold on.
So Angel Cabrales did. I partnered with him through the planning department to do the tire sculptures at Linear Park, which were actually, if somebody remembers, there was actually some controversy there. We had some church groups out there, and that art was controversial. But that art is controversial, right? Yeah. And so we did that. We also did some installations in empty buildings downtown around the time of Build a Better Block.
The incubator.
There was the city in partnership with BC Workshop applied and received for the Activating Vacancy Arts Incubator. And wow. there was about $100,000 there. That was maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And we brought artists in, and they were participated in the incubator, and that was there right downtown in Market Square.
Right.
That he supported. So it's what I'm trying. And then so this mural that you brought up, Ray, is that was also done through a grant with Rails to Trails to support the active plan. That's not the completed picture.
Right. No, it's not.
Yeah, but it was We had a contest for that one. This guy, his name is Cody Scheibe.
Yeah,
He
cool.
is actually from Harlingen originally, and there was a committee that picked that one as the winner, and so we got that one done. There's another one done in Rancho Viejo. That was more of a regional scale mural program.
Right.
That we got some one done in Los Fresnos, Laguna Vista. So you'll see active plan murals throughout Cameron County.
Do you feel you were prepared for those murals as far as scaffolds and paints and supplies? And was it well managed, or did you struggle there with managing that with the artists?
Well, I think we've learned along the way, Gabriel, or I learned along the way
Right, right,
of what was needed and the budgets that were needed, right? You always, and when you're in a city, you always kind of work with what you got, right?
right.
And so these were the winners of these. Josie del Castillo did one, the bike mural there on 6th Street.
Right.
The winners of these got, I believe they got $3,000, not supplies, just $3,000 as a fee, plus supplies and everything else, right? And so yeah, so that obviously pales in comparison to $15,000-$20,000 for a mural, right? But we learned along the way, or I learned along the way of what was needed, right? And so fast forward to 8 months ago, however long ago that was now. We knew that we had to prepare the wall, right? We knew that we had to get the base color down. So but that's just kind of just through learning what artists needed, what we could do to best prepare for the artist. And really that's kind of what I did.
Nice. Now, can you talk a little bit about how Kelly came about and choosing an outsider for I don't want to say outsider, but choosing somebody like Kelly instead of for a large scale project like that. Why the Capitol building for that matter, and how does I guess why not a local artist in the initial process of the 3 murals, if you will?
Yeah, so I think it's been well documented, the Teddy Kelly mural per se. Now you're gonna have to help me with the questions. The first question is why the Capitol?
Right.
Well, a lot of people really forget about what that wall looked like before, right?
But why not continue with all of it? Why not paint all of it?
Oh yeah, that actually, what happened? It's funny you mentioned that, right? So when we painted the wall, when we painted it pink, I was like, oh well, that's pink, but that's what the artist wanted, right? And then I said, man, we really have to paint the front, right? Because it just didn't look right? Mm-hmm. Now I was able to get quotes for the front, and I just never got to do it. To be honest, I never did, right? And I don't, like I said, I no longer control the process. But that was a thing that I was working towards, to kind of paint the front, because it just doesn't look good now.
Do you think it should be painted? Right, of course.
I believe it should be painted, absolutely, right? And so why the Capitol? It was just kind of, to be honest, it was just the wall just looked dreary, right? I remember when we put up the even just the primer, it was just fantastic. It was like wow. And so there really was nothing more to it. It's not necessarily that this artist is from LA, so we're gonna give him a huge wall. It was really more of what's the larger impact, right? In the sense
and who's that circle of people that are talking about this?
Well, it was really kind of me.
It is what it is. I mean, that's okay. That's all right.
Yeah, and
All
so
right.
what I like to say, about the Teddy Kelly mural, and he'll say it himself because he's actually a pretty cool guy. He is Mexicano.
I met him, and yes, you're
In
right.
fact,
Cool guy.
I was taking pictures when you and him were talking, but I didn't go interrupt you.
He's a cool guy. He's from Sinaloa. His name doesn't necessarily mean who he is, right?
Right.
And so where was I going with that? So wait, what was the question there, Gabriel? I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, it was why the capital. And then you started talking about how did Kelly came about in it.
Yeah, so Teddy, I mean, he was just it. That's what I was saying. Some people, what he says, and what a good muralist will say, even Sophia, who did the other mural on 10th Street,
Yeah.
She'll say, "Hey, in Mexico City, people pay me to do a wall like this. Coca-Cola or Indio or Dos Equis or whatever brand pays me to do a mural. 2 years later, they'll repaint it, right? And they'll do another one, right?
Yeah, but Sophia was on this show. Sophia was on this show, and we talked about it. And the whole idea. We even talked about the whole idea of artists and business and all of that. But the thing is, this is what I think people were talking about it, right? And this is Sophia's mural, and that looks like art to me. That looks pretty. What do you think, Araceli? You're not from Brownsville.
I'm trying to see it. I'm gonna try to open it on my iPad because.
All right.
But you were telling me I need to lower this. So
It's colorful. It's bright. Does it represent Brownsville? Maybe not, but it's beautiful. It's pretty, right? And when we and unfortunately, all we got from the other was just the pick, and the pick is a color you use in a lot of the Mexican art. I mean, it's a base, but it seemed like it was just blah. It was just boring.
Well, some people that went to go talk to him, Ray, they really got they really got what he was trying to do and his style. We said earlier, art is controversial, right? I tell people, sometimes, I like the, some people will like the Teddy mural, some people will like the Sophia mural, some people might not like either, right? And it's just, if I believe if art isn't necessarily creating a conversation, then it might not be art, right? So it just depends, right? I mean, it really just depends on the interpretation of the person.
I would say yes, but the thing, if it wasn't meant to be, this artist is going to come in and paint something. It was meant to be, or at least the citizens understood that the artwork was going to represent Brownsville. And I think that when Kelly's mural was done, that just didn't do. And then when Sophia's came in, they saw the beauty in that, but even though it didn't represent, it was still the difference. You didn't hear that much negativity going towards Sophia's mural as you did to Kelly's.
Well, I think it was a different approach, Ray. I think it was the approach was a pivot from Teddy.
Right.
Teddy was more of the type of guy that says, hey, like, I have to now. The difference in scale is also key, right? I don't know if when you were out there with Teddy, but he was up there 40 feet high, right? In the middle of a 90-degree summer day,
right?
Painting this thing, right? So Sophia's per se lent itself more to local, to more community engagement because you didn't have to be as high, right? That there weren't some of the implicit dangers of altitude, right? But Teddy's approach absolutely was more of like, hey, I can handle this on my own. and he did. He finished that whole mural in like 5 days, right?
Oh.
And Sophia's was a completely different approach, and I think the community obviously took better to that. And I think that's the approach that should be done moving forward, which is, involve the local artists, pay the local artists, and make it happen, right?
Here we see Alejandra's mural in Matamoros, 5 stories.
Mm-hmm.
You see, that's where he's saying the dangers in it. It depends, because you need to get a number of scaffolds alone to build. I mean, to get up there, and
Right.
that's where all the, the danger and all the it does cost. Scaffolds
Well,
alone. I used to have
but we're not
scaffolds. I
talking
know.
about the cause. We're talking about, you know, what I mean. If you're commissioning a piece of work, you're commissioning a painting. You say, hey, you know what? I want, for instance, a pitcher and some fruit, or I want something, Halloween like, or I want something. I want some cows and some birds. That's
Uh-huh.
what you expect, and so you know, the community wanted something that represented Brownsville.
Oh, so they're upset because that I
That's
didn't get
the
to
whole
see it.
idea.
You want to
It
put it
was.
back up?
I
I
don't have
just
it. I don't have
I
it here.
think Ray. I mean, and I don't know Araceli's background or anything, but I mean, if you go to the wherever you like to travel,
Right.
right?
Huh?
Let's think the New Yorks of the world, the Parises of the world, the bigger cities of the world that have let's say street art mural
Right. Right.
collection,
Right.
right? They're not all local, right?
Well,
Right.
I understand
They're
that,
from
but
they're from
but
all
the
over the
idea of
world.
this one was that it was going to be local,
No,
or wasn't that the case, Gabriel?
The thing is, Ramiro, we're going a lot about what the mayor made. The mayor made a bunch of statements during that time that the Kelly mural was put about, and so the idea of being local was through the statements that he made,
I,
and
but
I'm just going off of
I don't
the
remember I don't remember the exact statements. There was probably a
yeah, and
lot of
well, there was an official statement which was put on a Friday, and the mural started on a Monday,
Yeah.
which is when everybody kind of did backflips because like, whoa, what's going on? How does the message? Why is this message on Friday for a job that starts on Monday and it's already outsourced to somebody other than a local artist? I think that's what cannonballed into a big scandal. And if I go back thinking about what you just said a little while ago, why wasn't there a committee? I mean, you chose, which is fine, but if I may ask your thoughts, why not? Hey, you know what? Let me ask a few people, the mayor, a commissioner, somebody here, somebody there, and do a collective. Hey, what do you guys think? I'm gonna get this guy Teddy for this mural. What do you guys think? Is that okay? Or, I mean, are we green light or why wasn't there a consensus for that?
Well, I don't. I mean, there was a consensus, but I'm not saying it. A community. In my like what I told you on Saturday, Gabriel. It was really how do we make an impact quickly,
Right,
right?
right.
And so when you talk about a community-led process, it usually happens over months and
Okay,
time.
so how does Teddy's name come about? Like, how does how does his name come into play? Like, where did you get it from? The phone book, from the internet? If you will, if I may ask that question, you don't have to answer it.
I
I'm just asking.
No. I can't, man. I can't recall necessarily. I think it was a recommendation from somebody. Hey, take a look at this, but I can't remember who. And then we just kind of, I just kind of jumped on the Instagram and
Okay, okay,
and just started to kind of poke around. And so same thing with Sophia, right?
Yeah.
If you Google like top Mexico muralist or
Yeah, she's
something
done
like
stuff
that.
on skyscrapers.
Right.
And,
So
and some
she's been on
that's all
wires.
right. I mean, that's all right. I mean, I guess some people just want the how does it come about?
Yeah. So yeah, that's like I said, I just Googled, what's the leading Mexican muralists or that kind of stuff, and then just kind of go from there. People that responded, there's people that didn't respond, right? And then you start to kind of evolve from there.
Right.
Well, this is the mural, and it's on a I guess a fish angle here. Cause it's actually a straight wall here.
But you received. I gotta say something real quick. You did receive proposals during all this stuff, right? Because I know I submitted a proposal, but I know other people were submitting proposals to you, even before you announced your resignation. So what happened to that, if I may ask?
I mean, that just that was supposed to be, your submittals were supposed to be part of the third process, right? And so that's what we were these two were already underway, I think, when those submittals came through, or some other people started submitting information. And so that was part of the process.
Yeah, Dr. Laura Cisneros says, we have tremendous talent. Why not have a contest and have the community residents draw a mural on a small scale, like an art project? A community selects the best 5 out of or 10 and have the residents vote for a top one. We need something that shows the city of Brownsville. Doctor, you are right. You are right. Why not do that? Erasmo Castro here says, why Google? Why not here locally? I mean, we have talented artists here. So why do they screw up? And I said this in another show. Okay, let's say we have talented artists and we get them to do it and they screw up. Okay, but at least they got to do the work.
Yeah, and so, I mean, with
Wow.
And the city would have saved a lot of money.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
This one is too much money. Let me show
Yeah,
you another picture here. Hold on. Let me show you another picture on the down the stuff. Hold on. But I have it on 2 different folders. I'm looking for it. But let me show you this picture. This is not from here. And one of you is going to recognize it. But okay, where is it? But I wanted to show it to you. Here we go. And look at this mural. So, Gabriel, how big is this mural here?
That was about 50 feet wide. About the size of a trailer.
About the size of the trailer. And what was the cost on that?
That was total cost $200.
$200.
Yeah.
Again, I mean, yeah, granted, they could have probably, offered him more, and probably, he wasn't thinking in those kind of numbers. But I would assume that Brownsville, you could have done scholarships with that money and given $1,000 scholarships to different students from the high schools, elementary level. We probably cut the mural in parts and have like Russell School paint a little bit, Cummings paint a little bit, Hannah paint a little bit, and it could have been a collective work of all these students.
Well, that's the thing too. What you're talking about, Royal. Why isn't BISD doing that within its own realm? Why isn't BISD doing this already? I mean, you're talking BISD is one of the biggest employers, has the money, the potential to do this, has the walls. Yes. I mean, they should be doing it within themselves. It doesn't really need to involve the city.
Amen. Yeah. I don't know.
And I'm sorry to say this, but it's kind of true.
That the community has, and
I'm on the advocate side.
I don't know much about this. I'm barely learning as y'all are talking, because I am interested in the future. Hopefully one day I get to do one. But you do need a permit to do that, don't you?
Well, yeah.
I heard somebody mention that you don't need a permit. I would think you do need a permit
No,
if it's going
You
to
know
be.
what? Can you give us maybe some insights on that, Ramiro? That you worked with the city. What does somebody have to do a painting on a especially
On a building,
downtown,
on a
because
state building.
downtown has so much red tape because of the historical
well, I
association.
think
Mhm.
the mural that everybody, yes, the city has, Gabriel, you're right. Over time has protected the look and feel of downtown, and so um, the one that really kind of broke the mold on that was that Elon Musk mural that actually is a facade of a building, right?
Right, which is something that it's unheard of.
It's
How did that?
unheard of. It's unheard of, and so I was still there at the time. I was shocked by it, to be honest. But I didn't, that was the interpretation that it was allowed, right? So that took on, the Bad Bunny mural came up, the Selena mural came up. So Araceli, to answer your question, and Gabriel is, at this point, the city is not necessarily regulating murals.
I
Simple.
mean, I did the for the Curio 409, I did that mural there on the white walls, which you saw as well. Of course, it's on a temporary barricade.
Yeah,
It's not on a it's not on the permanent wall. I mean, technically that barricade's going to be moved after the renovations continue and
sure.
stuff like that. And I've heard, of course, that they want to preserve the panels as they are, because it's an investment as well. But yes, I do feel that is true. Um, and I'll give props to pop culture, which is the one that did the Elon Musk mural, and did break those barriers, because I never had a business downtown, but I love downtown, and I've always seen its growth. My mom used to work downtown since we were kids, but you know what, there is so much talk, there is so much red tape of what you can do downtown, but at
Well,
the same but
I think that we think,
there's so much plywood covering windows, that we should beautify all those plywoods. I mean, we should
Yeah.
take advantage of all that space
yeah,
that's out there.
yeah. Like I said, they did not. That was the Elon Musk was the one that kind of broke that mold. Because you're right, absolutely right, Gabriel. In the past, it was what is it called? It was frowned upon, to say the least.
I mean, and not to mention, I know that there was a graffiti done on.
Which, by the way, I don't agree with facades being.
Yeah, the graffiti done
On the Kelly
on the
one.
BTX mural on the bottom part, which caused a lot of controversy as well. Um,
Yeah, but that's another issue.
yeah,
To Laura's question here, who she said about including the community, that's absolutely something that should be done, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's
I've
something we
talked to
want.
Josie, I've talked to other artists. I don't know what it's going to take, to be honest. It's been probably more than 6 months since I've been there, and so this thing should have already been done. This process should have already been laid out, and this process should have already been moving forward. And so, Laura, I absolutely agree with what your comment. And but I think it takes advocacy, right? I think it also takes, like I told Gabriel on Saturday, go to the city commissions, every city commission, right? Um, you know, the only one I see now commenting still on some of the pages is Erasmo, who just commented, and Gabriel. They're still the ones that are still kind of saying, "Hey, where's the third mural? Where's the third mural? Where's the third mural?"
Right.
But the artist community still still has to advocate.
Right. Yeah, I think that is true. That's very important. They need to be. They need to not let it go and depend that other people are going to do it for them. We need to do it for ourselves.
And I think the question
I have no
that
doubt
the
about
community has, guys, and Dr. Laura saying that I missed it if you mentioned it, but who had the final say on the 2 murals? Who was the one that said let's choose them? Was that you? Was it somebody else? Was it hidden powers?
Who's doing your participation now? Who does what you were doing? Do you know by any chance?
I nobody. Right.
So you're the one that has to say completely.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying?
Who does the responsibility? If you're not there, who does the responsibility fall onto? Like, who is your boss? In other words,
my boss was Noel Bernal, was the city manager.
So technically, it falls under him now.
I mean, everything falls under the city manager.
Well, yeah.
Right?
Well, see.
But it's just about prioritizing the work, right?
Right.
And like I said, you have to keep advocating. You have to keep pushing, right? Let's say even when I was on the inside, right? It's about pushing. It's about pushing. Nothing gets done just because you just talk about it. Right?
Well, yeah, I mean that's one of the reasons we do shows like this is to inform the community and to let people come in and voice their not only their opinions but their side of the story, and that's what we wanted to hear, Ramiro, because too many times, you only hear one side, and that side gets is popular, and so you start winning on that side because it is popular, whether it's right or wrong. But we wanted to kind of go down the middle. Okay, what's the thing? Why wasn't it? Why do we have to go outside the valley when I'm sure there's? I mean, if Gabriel's not the one, there's other artists out there that could possibly have done it. I showed you work from Alejandra. I showed you work from Gabriel. There's other talented artists here that could have done it.
I am a firm believer in advocacy. I am with whoever wants to get together and work on this.
Erasmo says you still owe him a drink downtown.
Está bueno, Erasmo, cuando quieras. And so, but it's going to take advocacy.
Pero dice Erasmo también, you are correct, Ramiro. We have to hold these people accountable. And it's true. And this is why you have to vote.
My last day at the city was September 28th. So that's 8 months, and they still have not put out a process. Right.
Is there a
and there was actually sorry, Gabriel. There was actually a sketch of the process. We've already done this, like I told you, with the active plan, that mural, the Cody Scheibe mural that you brought up first, Ray. We've already done these processes. Like it's not necessarily like you're reinventing the wheel.
No.
Right?
Well,
this is already done. It's not necessarily the hardest thing to do.
And the funds are there that you know.
But the thing is this: are we trying to put a wheel on the Ford or on the Chevy? Are we trying to put a Chevy wheel on the Rolls Royce? And I think that's what it is, man. We're I hate to say it, but we're not a Rolls Royce, and you're trying to put 4 tires on it.
But the recipe, you need three things to make things happen, right? You need money, it's there, right? You need ganas. It's not there on the behalf of the city. It's there on behalf of the artist, right?
Hey, who's gonna do the artwork? The city or the artist?
Yeah. So the art community, in my mind, really needs to kind of rally around this, and and like Erasmo said, hold people accountable, right?
Well, the art community was around this. After this happened, I did 4 shows on this. Erasmo did another show on that. And the art people are behind it. They just feel like they were, they were thrown aside. Again, why go looking outside of the valley? why not just hire somebody here? Why not?
I think.
I mean, I would have put it this way. I wouldn't have even hired anybody. I would have said, we're going to do a mural. Who wants to come and help?
I think. Look,
and then get a couple of talented. I'm sure among the artists, somebody would have said, well, boom, boom, that guy. You guys are the main artists. Okay, let's think of an idea, and boom, it's done.
I go back to
boom, gets things done quickly.
I agree. I agree 100%. And I mean, it's almost like not just that, because it's your hometown. You want to get your people, your own people, the people that have grown there. Your grandparents have stories and pictures that they could probably, kind of duplicate, but in a bigger scale, right? That's one, like Ray said. Another one is like they're raised there, and another one is, it's like if you're trying to build your community. Everybody's growing together, and your businesses are going and they're growing. Why? Because you're shopping there. You're not going to live in Brownsville and come all the way to McAllen and shop over here. That's what y'all pretty much did, is what I'm understanding. Is you got another painter from LA or somewhere to come and do art over here.
We got one from LA, and then we got one from Mexico City.
Yeah, Mexico kind of combines it a little bit more than LA.
I would push back on that a little bit, in the sense that some of the best cities in the world, they have a collection of artists, outside, inside, local, regional, international, from all over the place. Right?
Oh yeah, I understand.
So if we're really going to be a community that welcomes artists, we should welcome all artists, not just. I'm not saying don't support local. I think the crutch here is the fact that we didn't go local, obviously, with the first one and the second one, right? But
I can understand you make a mistake on the first one, fix it on the second one.
So we kind of fixed it in the way that we got there. Sophia was much more inclusive, right?
Yeah, of course. She had a team of 12 artists,
and then they were all paid.
Artists had some money as well.
They were all
she
paid.
Told us the whole story here. She came in, and I mean, as a matter of fact, Sophia is probably. I'm not going to say that she's better, but she's out there. She painted these skeleton heads, and these skeleton heads are huge. These guys travel around the world.
I think we got her. In my opinion, I think we got her at the right time.
Yeah, you got her at the right time.
I think you got her
for a good price. But the thing is this, even through that, once the people saw the mural, the people, kind of like they woke up and they were angry, and they had their torches out, and they're, get a rope, and they wanted to hang somebody, the old type, Western type of days,
Let me. I don't know.
But they were screaming local.
Hey, you're going back too far. You're going way back too far into history.
But I strongly believe art is controversial. Art should be controversial.
Yes,
art should create art is meant to be. Art is meant to move discussions forward or create a discussion. Let me tell you that story about the tire.
That's like saying the political process should be fair as well.
Right. Yeah. But the thing is, Ramiro, yes, it created controversy, but it was all negative. It did not unite the community.
Hey, but there are people that have said, hey, I like those two murals.
Well, a lot of people, I'm not saying both murals. I'm just saying that Art Kelly would. I personally like Sophia's. It's pretty. It's bright. But the thing is this, you don't go to a restaurant and order tacos and you don't like them and you keep eating them. If you order a second plate of terrible tacos, you know what I'm saying? You feel that, okay, the Kelly thing didn't work, okay, so we screw up $30,000 down the drain. Okay, let's get the local artists to do it. Okay, so ustedes creen que lo pueden hacer local artists in Brazil? Then here it is. Paint this mural, guys.
The solution. This is the way I see it. You could have 20 more shows on this very topic.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Let's just have the bucket and everything to raise so you can do it.
The solution is two things. You gotta start advocating for the third one, right?
Well, I thought the third one was already on the works. What do you mean?
Hold on. Hey, I'm just saying the artist I'll put myself in there. We should start advocating for the third one. Why isn't it there? Why isn't it done? Why hasn't the process been started? Right.
And I think Gabriel has done that.
Second, if you, Ray, or whoever, if you really hate the Teddy mural that much, right, then let's go find some money and paint it over.
It's already done, bro.
No.
The thing is, the people that said, okay, it's done, de modo, yeah.
These artists,
what Brownsville citizens want.
Okay, but these artists will tell you, paint it over. Paint it all over. You didn't like it, paint it over.
I understand that, but the thing is, the third mural was promised. Or no, Gabriel. Wasn't the third mural
was promised
a couple of days afterward? It was stated that they were coming in with a third mural.
And
it made it sound like, okay, we're gonna bring these big time muralists, and then we're gonna let the local artists paint.
Right, and I go to the mayor's comments because that's who I follow for what's going on in the city. He promised a follow up with the third mural, and that's what I'm waiting for. That's what I also emailed the city person which you mentioned a while ago, and that's who I'm waiting for as well to give us answers.
I mean, there should be people, whether virtual or physically, there should be people at public comment at the city commission meetings, right? The city can remember the mayor does not necessarily what staff does, but I bet you anything, if you have multiple people show up multiple times over the course of maybe a month or so, it'll start to become a priority. Right now, I mean, pretty much it's on the bottom of the pile, right? So what is the community going to do about putting it to the top of the pile, right?
Right.
And so, Gabriel,
why is it at the bottom of the pile?
Right.
It's so easy to fix.
It made national news. It already made national news. I don't understand why it's at the bottom of the pile. I understand. I mean, is it on the bottom of the pile from the street lights that are all broken that they have?
The number one comment on communities is the streets. So streets is number one. Streets is number one on the priority.
Street lights downtown.
Street lights is probably from what I can tell from the work right now, it's not necessarily a priority.
Yes, but the thing is that the mural would not include city workers. Everything else would include city workers because they're going to be doing construction on whatever they're going to be building. The mural would not include city workers. Maybe a couple of guys with a truck to close, create some barriers. But other than that, it doesn't include city workers.
Well, right. So then that begs the question: then why are we waiting for the city?
Well, and really, they're not. The artists have been painting, right? I had another friend, Myra, that actually got a grant, and she was giving artists big plywood panels, and they were doing small murals up on Highway 100.
All honesty, I mean, for me, send me a check and I'll get it done. That's all I need.
So Gabriel, I mean, nothing keeps people, right? A group of citizens from saying, let's go to the Fine Arts Museum and let's say, hey, we want to create a process, right? And we're going to put the process together, and then we're going to send the top winners based on this committee. We're going to send it to the city. Right. I mean, that might be a way to apply pressure. Do the process yourself.
interested,
Right.
but again, you know, like Gabriel said, BISD, you know, the schools, you know, Sandy says high schools have great artists. Why not let them paint a
Exactly.
mural? It would help the school artists. School is local and
Exactly.
it's part of the community. And maybe throw some scholarships that way.
Exactly.
Ray, I think I'm this. Well, I mean, in the school district, the school district is a hard nut to crack, right? You think the city's hard.
I still think that the BISD should be having those type of programs.
I think there has to be an approach to them. This is Dr. Laura Cisneros, Mr. Gonzalez, with all due respect, you keep saying we need to advocate. Advocate to who? Can you tell us who made the decision?
Well, there's like a lot of him. You advocate to the people that have, you know, I mean, like I said, like we're talking about right now, in this case, people are waiting for the city to put out a process, right? You know, you could potentially flip it on its head and say, well, you know, Gabriel, and through the Fine Arts Museum, we're going to create our own process, right? And then go from there, right? There's, you know, that could be a solution. I'm just throwing solutions.
Well, that could be a solution, but yet it wouldn't be a solution because it wouldn't be the city that's promising the mural, right? And that's what.
Well, but I mean,
there's going to be other murals. Trust me, there's going to be other murals.
But at least you're saying, Ray, hey, we put a process together. The art community put a process together. We selected these three folks. City, if you want to pick one of these three, right? Then go ahead. Right.
Well, I think we have the magic of Facebook, man. We could just put 3 pictures out there and we vote on them. But you know what? And I told Gabriel this. I told him, "Are you kidding? Is that the third mural? Not to put Gabriel's work down. I was just questioning the size of it, you know, because I was thinking you know, the city's murals were huge, and then they gave him a little bit of space to paint on. And I figured, are you kidding? Is that the third mural?
I not only you, but several people messaged me. Don't tell me that's the third mural. Please don't tell me.
Because
they were asking, the city should have given you a bigger wall. The city should have given you a bigger wall. That's what I was told. And I was like, wait, no, this is a private commission.
So look, guys, I'm about the solution. And Gabriel, I'm here to help. I'm here to, you know, help however which way I can. And you know,
I'll tell you this. It helps you coming onto the show, and it helps you voicing your thoughts and your opinion and clearing up the air of what had, you know, how the other 2 murals came about. It says a lot about you. It speaks well about you coming forward to do that.
I respect that.
It's always respected from me, from Royal, and the community as well. You know, so I'm pretty sure everybody respects that. Nobody likes people hiding, of course. Nobody, and I'm not saying you were hiding. I'm just saying that nobody likes, you know, not to give it importance. Give it importance by coming up to the show and you know, giving us your thought.
The Saturday night was the first invite I got. So
yeah, that Curio 49 is doing good. It's on its way to do good things. I believe it.
Yeah.
I mean, downtown is on its way to be great.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like as always, I lend myself to the community. I voice my opinion, but I'm here as well to you know, to push forward the third mural. I want to see it happen. It doesn't have to be me. I'm not saying it should be me. I don't want it to be me sometimes. I want it to be a local artist, and I would welcome any local artist to submit proposals to the city manager, and so that they're able to start selecting.
Well, I would say, Gabriel, I would stop you on that. I say we gotta create our own process.
Right, or at least
I would disagree with that.
At least get the city manager to acknowledge.
I would disagree and agree. I
Well, we
think
want
we need
them
to
to
create our
acknowledge.
own process, but I think we need to still bug the city because they promised us a third mural. Y dice
Right.
Sandy here, you said that they are boarded window schools, are community, elementary, intermediate schools, high schools. They all have artists. We need to show our students that they matter. This would be perfect. And that's true. This would be perfect for the
That would
city
be
to show the kids to, who knows, one of these kids paint something, you know, and that inspires them to keep going, keep studying, you know, become some great Picasso out there. There's so much potential. I mean, you know, we have young artists. I've had Beatriz came over. She's what is she, a junior at Pace, Gabriel? It's that little Beatriz that came on her show once
From
upon a time.
Rositas, yes.
Yeah. So we have talented artists. I mean, there's UIL winners in art and the whole bit. I don't know, but I mean, this is more of a city thing. I think the city needs to deliver the third mural. Is there walls?
The university.
There are walls.
Well, you can that like I said, Ray. I think you're absolutely right. I think we're kind of talking across each other. But the city does need to deliver it. But will it? And 8 months in, we haven't. There's no delivery yet. So
Wow.
So the question is, are we just going to keep waiting, or are we going to do something about it? It's very simple. Like I said, you could have 20 more shows to talk about this, right? And we can continue to talk, but you know.
Do you know anybody that owns? Do you know anybody
How'd
that
you guys
owns
do a
city
petition?
buildings? Do you know anybody that owns city buildings there downtown?
I know people that own walls.
Well, send them my way.
I like that white wall that's right across the Coca-Cola, catty corner to the Coca-Cola building. That's a big wall there.
There's a lot of good walls there downtown. I mean, you know what? And it doesn't have to be downtown. It could be in Southmost. It could be on Alton Glore. It could be you know, anywhere in Brownsville.
A mall wall. I don't know where I went. I went to some chess tournament somewhere at some national, and I remember seeing a mall that had murals. It was.
You got to get permission from the mall owner.
Es un todo un rollo. Una carta, dear Mr. Mall owners, can we paint a mural and make your walls a lot prettier? Give me a yes, give me a no.
One time I approached HEB about painting. You know the Paredes. The Paredes HEB is right behind the trail, right? And so I approached I approached HEB about trying to paint a mural there, trying to get something done there. And it was just kind of like it wasn't a no, but it was like, we have this whole big process that's like, it's going to take like 8 months to get permission. So
dude, I should get on it, man. I get people from all over the world that come to this show, man, and I don't even know them half of the time.
So, but that's what I mean, you know, like I said, you could have 20 more shows on this topic. I won't be on them. But I'm more of a solutions guy, and so, you know, I'm in to help however I can.
Yeah. No, pues qué bueno. I mean, I think it's great, Ramiro. Thank you again for coming in, man. You are brave. Chingones cajones, como dicen. and you know, you probably came in thinking that we were gonna blast you in a whole bit. I mean, maybe we did, maybe we didn't, but the thing is, you know, I think we were kind of nice. Maybe some of the leaders were not, pero we were kind of nice. Yes, we just wanted some questions answered. Como dijo Gabriel, we wanted to know what the history was on the inside. You know, what was the mentality going on the inside? Because you know, the voters want to know, the citizens want to know, you know.
Yeah, you know what, and I think having conversations, let's just say having conversations with you, it kind of makes it easier it may make it easier to be more welcoming into, hey, you know what, let's get together and go to the city and talk about this during the meetings, like you say.
And also understanding both sides.
Exactly.
When there's that dialogue already, of course you're not with the city anymore, but it's more welcoming that way. Oh, you know what, we're talking, and who knows, tomorrow I could be having this conversation with the city manager, and so forth, and with other artists as well, hoping they get the courage to come out and, yeah, you know what, I want to participate, and I want to advocate this, because at the end of the day, we get the mural done, and it makes a better community, and I'm thinking about the future. I'm thinking about all the other kids that are growing up in this community and get to see all those murals on the walls and get them inspired, that they don't have to go 5 hours away to San Antonio, to Houston, to see a mural, when we can have them all over in our backyard. I mean, that's something that we should have already had. I saw today that they were unveiling in one of the parks a sculpture, a children's sculpture. I thought that was amazing, by the way. And all power to whoever made that happen, because that itself is public art. And
Yes.
that's very engaging for the community. It's engaging for the youth. And so I think it's a very positive thing. So, of course, yes.
I mean, there are some of the best, like San Antonio, for example, has, obviously San Antonio is a much bigger city, but there are cities out there that have art budgets, right? They take a percentage out of the bonds, and so San Antonio, for example, they have a $3 or $4 million yearly art budget, right? That's why they have art in the airport. That's why they have art everywhere, right? I mean, obviously there's money there. There's obviously product, right?
Yeah. Plus it's funded.
So really kind of like, so when we're talking about, if you talk about the future, right? If you talk about long term, if you talk about sustainability, if the bigger conversation, other than this third mural, right, has to be, how do you have funds that support the arts, right, consistently, right? And so,
doesn't the city have grant writers to look for research
well,
stuff like that?
but there's not a lot. I mean, Ray, that's a very.
I mean, if Myra could get funds to give, I think she gave out 100 plywoods. Do you remember Gabriel about that? Right, she gave up maybe 50 plywoods or 100. Of course, that's lower scale. That's one individual doing something for the artist. She's not into art. She's into science. She's into snakes and all of that. But she decided, hey,
but Ray, you talk about, when you talk about art, now you got to get into like what, I mean, there's like fine arts, there's public art, there's, performance art, there is of festivals, there are a lot of things that are art, right? And what happens in Brownsville is, yes, we have like the jazz festival, for example, right? We have these long-term events, but they're consistently underfunded, right? Because it all takes money. It takes money to create an event. It takes money to do different things. And so that's why I'm saying the longer term conversation is, there needs to be some sort of, art and culture fund or art fund or something. And it's not necessarily grant based, right? There's got to be stability from the local. So
corporate companies donating towards it.
So you have, for example, you have like a stable kind of budget locally, and then you can go out for the grants, right? I went out for a lot of grants. Most of those grants require matches, right? And if you come with a match, you're much more competitive, right? So as a community, are we going to prioritize art, right?
Hey, I'm still waiting for a chess plaza, man. I've been asking for a chess plaza for 10 years.
It's at Market Square.
Oh, that one sucks. The boards don't even match. I mean, the boards are too small for chess pieces. Come on. We did it. So your wife and I did an event there. Several events that we couldn't use the tables. We just put boards over them.
Well,
You know, again, this is the city doing stuff without consulting people that know what they're working on. They did chess tables. Nobody called me. Nobody called another chess consultant to say this is the way you paint a board. I think it's even backwards. But that's another story.
That's the question. That's the long term thing. Like what, how much are we going to support the arts, right? And these organizations. I like to tell people in Brownsville, in the Valley, in South Texas, we kind of live. We don't have the corporate partners of the world. A lot of this stuff happens in the big cities. You go to Chicago. And that bean, that famous bean.
Yeah.
Well, right by the famous bean says sponsored by Boeing, right?
Yeah, of course. Hey, they give out some money. They need a byline. Yeah.
What about is there does this fall under BCIC as well or no?
Yeah, I mean, but you could. So once again, are you the question is it are we going to do one-off funding cycles, or is there going to be a continuous fund that is there day in, day out, year after year?
And you're right. And sometimes it's understanding the function of these of something like the BCIC, where I thought there was already committees that were within the BCIC already delegating that funds should be pertaining to beautification through mural projects, which is something that fell on your responsibility with your position.
Yeah, city. That's what I'm saying. So you could do one-off things, or you could do stable things, and I think long term that's what needs to happen in order to continue to have art in the city, right? Because even those Javier Marin sculptures at Linear Park, right? We got a deal on them, right? But they cost all we had to do was pay for the shipping, right? For the Sebastian and the Javier Marin, but that was about a $15,000 expense. Now, I would love to keep that. Like in my mind, there should be sculptures rotating through there on a yearly basis.
Yes.
Right.
But it takes money.
Yeah.
Right?
So I'm thinking, do you feel your position needs to be filled in again? Because we do need somebody like that looking after the visual arts and the public arts.
Well, so visual art and public art were nowhere near my job description. Okay. I did a lot of things that were not necessarily in my job description.
Okay.
But so there really is there's no art committee, or there's no art liaison, or this was just, random projects that popped up that had to get done.
Oh, I see.
And they ended up on my desk, right?
Okay. No, that's understandable. I mean, that's understandable. But I actually thought that you were responsible for always having something to do with it.
It was more of a kind of a volunteer. Like I really like this stuff, so I really believe in it. So if I can have an opportunity to influence it, I will.
So do you believe there should be a position within our city structure dedicated to just this?
I mean, the position should come with funding, right?
Right.
If it doesn't come with funding, then the position is pointless, right? But
yes and no, because it improves the city.
Well, I mean,
just like plumbing does,
but the position like could create its own funding.
Hey, like I said, there's a lot of ways that we could talk for 2 hours about. But Gabriel, the simple answer is yes. There has to be somebody at the city that sees the value in a public art program.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. If you are to involve that into the high school or middle school and high schools in UIL, and make it as a theater, or like, you know how we have theater arts?
Oh yeah.
Well, we can have art as that, and then have the kids, as Ray said, and also Sandy Doñez that came out also, and another young lady. Why don't y'all involve it in that way? And that way there will be funds, because it has to do with their schooling and their creativity. So
Yeah.
you can go about that
UIL has
way and add it to UIL, and they can go and they can even travel and look at other murals that are in Austin and Dallas and Houston and wherever. They can
That's a
go.
BISD
that's
question.
another
That's
another.
out of
Yeah,
my
yeah.
wheelhouse.
Oh, that's a great idea
But I'm saying that that would be an idea where I'm just saying. I mean, like I said, I'm just jumping in this conversation. I
And you know
honestly
what?
didn't
That's
even know
good,
what we were
Araceli,
talking
because the
about.
schools could create a mural team,
There's,
and
yes,
they
they
could
can get
create.
a mural team.
They could draw
They
their
can
own mural, and then they could
not
compete.
just Yeah, not just that though. I mean, those that do the piñatas for the parades and stuff like that. I mean, I know I'm getting a little bit off because my wheels already started working. A little too
Yeah,
late, sorry guys, but I needed to catch up to see what y'all were talking about. But as far as funds, going through the school system and adding another course or another activity for the kids, I know you guys will pass it with flying colors, and they can start those murals or do a lot of other stuff on the sides. I mean, I know that for a fact. I know that has nothing to do with your position, but that was just an idea that popped in my head really quick for it to go
It is.
through.
I mean, there's a lot of things that you're saying that personally as well. I would like to see BISD. I can't believe that BISD does not have its own gallery to exhibit the art that
all
the
Yeah,
the work
students
that
are
they've done.
producing. I
Yeah,
you
I mean,
know
exactly.
that. I mean, Gabriel, to your question, it's not. I mean, the arts have to be prioritized
Yeah,
amongst all entities, right?
right. No, and I
And
understand that.
so
I understand that, but it's one of the. I mean, right now there's leftover buildings left and right.
yeah.
um, and you can't say that there's no interest in art because there's a lot of art students, and from what I know from our teachers is they fill them up by 30 students per class, which is overwhelming for one teacher.
Yeah, yeah,
And I know that the interest for the arts is there because we're a very visual culture, and I'm sure that with the amount that art that that is being produced, it's not, it will get to the point where it's not competitive with other schools. So I really think there should be an investment in the arts, a visual
yeah.
art, and pertaining,
Awesome.
and not, you can't go to a class and sit on a normal desk in a in art class. I mean, and that's what a lot of art classes have. They just have normal desks. They don't have easels. They don't have the materials, the
Equipment.
canvases, the oils to already be involved in creating art pieces. That I know because I've gone into BISD schools to do talks
Yeah.
as well, and so I know that it's lacking. When I see, I know that they do rent out the museum for their art competitions because they don't have their own building
I have
dedicated.
I so to add to that, Gabriel, I have heard in the past in the past one man like, maybe like 6 7 years ago, we did a pop up gallery right there at Market Square before the Market Square construction started.
Hmm.
And one of the things I heard from the students at UTRGV was that there are not enough places to show
Yeah,
in Brownsville, right?
Right.
And the museum, kind of nothing against the museum, but it already has its rotation, right? So then you have the Rustenberg Gallery on campus that also has its reservations. And so there are not necessarily a ton of galleries around that
yeah,
the students can go into. So that is one consistent thing, and I'm glad you all brought it up. Is artists do feel from the ones that I've talked to is there are not enough spaces to show.
yeah.
Right.
So
Exactly.
That
And
requires
then we
investment.
feel restricted. We can't do public art because there's so much red tape in it, and or there's lack of funding.
But also, Araceli, to your question, I think historically, both.
But I would love to see somebody paint a mural about this, right, Araceli?
Thank you.
That's Araceli's work, by the way.
Oh, that's awesome. But the entities, the educational entities, from my experience, have been very reserved about letting students show in the community. And by
Yes.
reserved, I mean like zero.
Yeah.
Like they just don't promote it. They don't want to promote it. They don't want, they'll find every excuse not to let it happen.
Right.
And that was my experience with Angel Cabrales.
And that's censoring our voice.
Fortunately, Angel Cabrales, he didn't care, and he just said, "You know what? I'm going to do it anyways."
I think,
What about
I think
the boys?
there was one of sculptures made out of tires that looked like the Ripper, which is the one that you're talking about.
Yeah. Then we did a couple of like immersive installations in downtown buildings, and the university did not want him to do it. I actually think that's the reason he's not here, right? Because he was constantly kind of berated about being out in the community.
It's like the marine heads, when they were exhibited in South Padre Island. They were real controversial because they didn't want them there by the bridge, Causeway Bridge, because the unfortunately a bridge collapse and accidents that happened there. They didn't want to see the visual heads right next to the bridge. I'm not sure if you remember that.
I don't remember.
I remember that.
I remember the heads. Yeah.
Yeah. So the heads were put out in SPI, and they were the committee. There was a group of people that went in there and took them off right away because they didn't want them near the bridge where that accident had happened. Yeah. And again, they were censored. And something that had nothing to do with the bridge, but somehow was associated to the local atmosphere.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I gotta go.
Hey, well, you know what? Thank you, Ramiro. I know we went a little long. I said we were going to be an hour. We've gone about an hour and a half, but interesting topic. There's a lot of controversy. A lot.
I learned a lot. I learned a lot, Ramiro.
Opens up to many different topics, but we get ideas, and hopefully, those that make decisions are listening and can go in the right direction for the community. Absolutely. That's all we can ask,
Now they know that, yes. It was really nice meeting you, Ramiro. It was really a pleasure. And I learned a great deal right now. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you, guys.
Anytime. I'll be on anytime you want.
Appreciate it.
Guys, thanks a lot. Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care.
Hasta luego, Royal. Thank you so much, man.
Ándale, ya sabes, Gabriel. This is your show, man.
All right, man. We'll see you, man. Bye, Araceli. Hasta luego.
Ándale. Bye-bye. Again, this is Royal with Talk Soul Central RTV style, bidding you a good night.